Welcome everyone back to Mr. Dar Weather Updates. In today's video, we're going to look at the latest net weather observations, looking at the latest temperatures and also wind speeds, humidity and dew points for the for this hour basically in the UK. And we're also going to have a look at the usual things we look at every Monday, or the Ecmwf ensemble ones. So we do have a look at the this first. This is the temperatures. You can see we're off to quite a cool start in Scotland, of course. Some areas in Cairngorms and the Highlands are in the single digits, whereas some areas are in the low teens, so a little bit milder there, a bit warmer for them. As we obviously move further south, temperatures do start to increase a little. 13 degrees in Leeds. Then we've got 17 degrees, East Midlands. And then we've got London area, 21 degrees has been recorded already in London City Airport. We are like to see 30 degrees in some areas today. This could be the coolest day of the week, or one of the coolest. But around 17 or 18 degrees for now. So, not too bad temperatures. Looking at the humidity levels, relatively higher obviously in the north, but it will probably decrease, perhaps feeling a little bit muggy at times in the south. 64% humidity, central London, a little bit high in the west, so quite high actually. So, and these are dew points as well. Low dew points in the north, higher dew points in the south. Highest dew points 16 degrees, so around average. Air pressure, so we've got obviously higher air pressure in the southeast. Oh no, it's more in the southwest, isn't it? Where the Azores is. We're under a high pressure influence for now, other than perhaps far north of Scotland. Otherwise, mainly in a high pressure influence. These are the weather symbols. You can see we're mostly sunny. Some sunny intervals are likely for most areas of the UK. So a very pleasant day indeed. If you have a look at the Met Office Hadley Centre, central temperatures, you can see CT is currently sitting for August 18.4. That is 2.6 degrees above the 61 to 99. 1961 to 1990 average. That's provisional to the 8th of August. So, obviously, throughout the week, that's definitely going to go into 19 or 20s because it's going to get quite hot indeed for them regions. So, we'll have to see what happens there. But yeah, definitely looking like an above average month for most. So, now if we have a look at the Ecmwf mean sea level pressure anomalies, weekly mean anomalies, you can see. For this week, we have high pressure firmly in control, sat right across the UK. We've got a few thundery troughs in the south that could perhaps deliver some breakdowns at the end of the week, but very unlikely to talk too much. We've also still got low pressure to the Atlantic, but that has been blocked by the high pressure that we have been in most of the summer. 17th and 24th, again fairly similar, if not a little bit more unsettled in the south. High pressure still low, firmly in control, but it looks a little bit cooler, perhaps a northeasterly airflow or a bit of an easterly airflow possible. With low pressure. So with low pressure to the continent, that could probably bring some low pressure patterns to the east at times. 24th to the 31st, you can see maybe a little bit more unsettled in some areas. High pressure to the Atlantic, bit of ridging going on. Low pressure to the east, that could be a northeast, about an easterly airflow maybe, bringing perhaps some fresher conditions, a bit lower pressure at times, if the Atlantic does break out. 31st to the 7th, again very similar, bit of not much signal, but we have got a signal for high pressure to dominate in the Atlantic, high pressure to the south, may try to feed up at times, putting a bit of a question mark though, we'll see. Probably a southerly wind. 7th to the 14th, we've got high pressure once again in control from the east of the continent. That could bring a south to southeasterly wind with probably low pressure to the Atlantic. So quite interesting there. And then 14th to 21st, once again, even in September, we've got high pressure firmly in control. Low pressure to the north. That would bring a flat westerly. Could be a bit showy at times for this anomaly. Now looking at 500 hectopascal heights, this time it's looking more at the pressure of the height. 500 hectopascals. You can see high pressure firmly in control at 500 HPA, low pressure to the north, high pressure to the Atlantic, bringing a south to southwesterly wind, most likely a southerly wind at times for this one. The 17th to 24th. Sorry about that. But yeah, high pressure firmly in control. From between Scotland and Iceland. Again, that's going to bring quite settled conditions at times, with winds from a southwesterly direction as well. We have got signs of low pressure to the east and to the south. Could that try and push in? Well, probably not. We'll see. 24th to the 31st, looking a little bit more neutral. We've got high pressure out to Atlantic, a bit of ridging there. That could be the Azores High. So winds look a little bit flat and westerly, really. Maybe a bit showery at times. 31st to the 7th of August, September, sorry. We've got high pressure does show signs of breaking down, but high pressure emerges up to the continent there. Could even have some low pressure systems out to the Atlantic. Could be a bit unsettled at times. We'll see if that verifies into a low pressure system. 7th to the 14th, looking like high pressure is firmly in control once again. Signs of low pressure out to the Atlantic. A bit of a weak signal, but this will be an easterly flow mobily, where that direction the high pressure is. But will low pressure push in? We'll have to see, but it's unlikely if high pressure is that dominant. 14th to 21st of September. High pressure firmly in control once again, being widely settled conditions at times. Low pressure out to the South Atlantic. Winds are easterly, perhaps a southeasterly direction at times. Looking at the seasonal forecasting into September, looking like temperatures, so temperatures are more likely to be above average once again, meaning that high pressure will be firmly controlled. That's the most likely pattern we could see. Now looking at the precipitation weekly mean anomalies, this is for this week, and this week is definitely looking a lot drier than average, even for Scotland. That means that high pressure is firmly controlled. We've definitely got low pressure systems out here, but they are getting blocked by the ridging of the high pressure, so looking widely drier than average indeed. Looking at the 17th to 24th, still a little bit dry at times, in the southwest especially. Signs of a tentative signal or something, a little bit wetter in the fan off eastern Scotland, but still, for the bulk of England, we're drier than average once again, so still in a pattern of very dry and above average temperatures most likely. However, the end of August looks a lot more wetter than average for the bulk of England. Even for the southeast, we could even see some precipitation patterns being a little bit more unsettled at times, and especially for the bulk of England as well. So definitely looking a little bit more unsettled for the end of August, for a time at least, but it's unlikely to total up to that much, if you know what I mean. 31st to 7th, still a bit of a weak signal, but signs of something a little bit wetter than average in the far south and central areas that could develop into something. I'm going to put a question mark for there. Then the 7th to the 14th, we'll have signs of drier signals possible into the continent. That could even drift out to the England. Still a bit of wetter patches at us possible, so a little bit of a contrast there. Again, a bit of a question mark. Not much of a signal though. There we've got 14th to 21st. It's a long way out, but there's definitely a lot of confidence in saying that this period will be definitely drier than average, because there's not much precipitation patterns in middle of September, and indeed for at least for the first half of England, even for Scotland actually, not very wet at all, so it could be quite dry for parts of September. So again, September is looking a bit drier than average. But let's have a look at the temperatures though, and see a trend on our temperatures. You can see 10th, 17th were definitely well above average for the time of year, probably about 6 degrees above average in the south. Even in Scotland, we're well above average for this week. 17th and 24th, again, wildly above average, we're around 3 degrees above average in the south, about 1 to 2 degrees above average in the north and northwest. Between the 17th and 24th. 24th to the 31st, again, widely above average again, on average 1 to 2 degrees above average, and around average in Scotland and northwest. 31st to 7th, again, widely above average, 1 to 2 degrees above average, east most likely. The 7th to the 14th, looking like a heatwave pattern is going to emerge once again in early September, which is, it can happen in September actually. As you can see, high pressure firmly control. That means probably we're going to get above average temperatures of 1 to 2, perhaps even 3 degrees above average. And that's the same for the middle of September, 1 to 2 degrees above average as well. So that is the Ecmwf weekly forecast. Hope you enjoy this. Thank you. Oops, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.